Hey, Coach Jacobs, thank you for joining us on the pregame show. Coach, that 20-13 win over Italy was a thing of beauty, especially if you're a fan of the TV series MacGyver, where the main character would take what seemed like an unsolvable problem and take a whole bunch of unusual ingredients and tools and put them together and save the day. You certainly had two marquee players out, Torbert and Chambers, but you put other guys in positions to shine, and boy, did they ever save the day.
Well, the thing that stands out with this group is that they don't care who does it as long as it gets done, and they play hard for each other, and they're committed. They're very competitive, and you know it was a unique situation, obviously, and you know, for the ingredients to come about like they did, the things that they earned that win. I mean, they made things happen that benefited us. You know, they limited the opportunities had with turnovers, and we forced 4 turnovers that made a difference. It gave us a short field to deal with, which made a big difference. We forced them into starting all their drives on their end of the field and not our end of the field. You know, big plays, defending the passing game. They had some miscues that fell into our lap. So there were just a number of things. But the kids that stepped up and performed in the place of those that were injured was, very admirable. I guarantee you. They, like I said, it was a team win, and very proud of it.
Hey, Coach, Tom mentioned, kind of the adversity you had to face. There was a moment in the third quarter where Italy this was right before they went up 13-6. They had the ball at like the half-inch line, and one of your players was called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which I don't think I've ever seen any of your players draw that kind of foul. You called a timeout and brought the team over. If you don't mind sharing, what did you share with the team in that huddle?
Well, we can't let our emotions dictate how we play and what we do. We have to control ourselves. He was frustrated. He thought there was a fumble on the play when we made the tackle right there at the 1-inch line. And you look back on film, and it was close, but it wasn't a fumble, and he just got really involved with the situation. And he'd made that comment that it was a fumble, and he was very, very stern about it. And officials caught it, and they flagged him for it. So, that's been addressed, and I try to reassure and make sure that these guys understand that we're going to play and control our emotions as much as we can on the field. Now, I know it's an emotional game and a big game like that, but we've got to be bigger than that. And so, I think they got the message.
Coach, we had a tough time. We do this, we pick a player of the game for one of the sponsors on the radio broadcast. We had a very tough time picking a player of the game on Friday because so many guys, particularly some young guys, stepped up in important ways. I mean, you had Weems has to come in and punt a couple of times, and he had very effective punts. You had a punt blocked. That was a very important point in the game. Laney Fisher has a huge sack on that third down right at the end of the game, which it kept the clock running and limited Italy to one more play. That was a huge point in the game. And then, of course, Walker has 7 carries for 32 yards and an interception. Murphy gets a fumble deep in territory. Borkowski steps up, gets an interception. We ultimately, though, decided on our player of the game. It was so hard to do. On the littlest guy on the field, Rodriguez. That's a little dude who plays like a grown man. What does he mean to your team, Luis Rodriguez?
He's an inspiration just the way he plays. His motor runs hot all the time. He's very competitive. He's not afraid to back down from any challenge. He understands his strengths and his weaknesses, and he's going to go hard every play, every snap. And he's very inspirational. I guess from the standpoint you look at him size-wise, you think, how on earth can he do anything? But when guys see the way he performs on the field, it just really motivates many others to do the same thing. So, yeah, he's he's the motor that runs it. I think, you know, he runs hot.
We're visiting with Crawford Pirates head coach Greg Jacobs. Hey, Coach, Marlin is just hit. It seems they are hitting their stride right now. Their quarterback, Desmond Woodson, he's a 3,200-yard passer on the year. He threw 6 touchdown passes in their runaway win over Tolar last Friday. This number 0, Trajan Butler, he looks like the reincarnation of Quan Cosby to me, and I mean that as high praise. I realize Cosby was from Mark, not Marlin, but you know they have some dynamic playmakers. How do you stop Marlin?
Well, you know, they live off explosive plays. Every play has a chance to go the distance. They just have that type of athlete over there on the field on their offensive end. And, you know, we have to limit the explosive plays. We've got to limit the big plays. And so to do that, we've got to be very sound at what we do. We've got to understand our responsibilities and, you know, do a good job of matching routes and pressure the quarterback when we have that opportunity and tackle that. And they're a challenge to tackle. The two that you mentioned are difference makers, but they've got one, the number 4, that's he's just as dynamic as anybody else, and he's a big kid and can run. So, you know, they got a lot of weapons. We need to minimize the opportunities they have for big plays. And, you know, it'll take a team effort, obviously, on both sides and the special teams as well. So defensively, that's what we're going to have to do. Just you know, limit the number of big plays, and make them earn everything. And then we'll, you know, rely on the offense to try to turn out yards and control the clock as much as we can and see what happens.
Hey, Coach, thank you for your time. We've been visiting with Crawford Pirates head coach Greg Jacobs. 7 o'clock kickoff tonight from Belton, Marlin and Crawford in the state quarterfinals. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.